Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start the live stream. Hi, this is Elliot Wavesage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. Before I jump into questions, allow people to get on the chat. We had a pivotal day in the market, an inflection point, just like I mentioned in my last video. I think it's safe to say something changed underneath the hood of the market today. We had some price action that baffled the news media with a rotation out of tech into the Russell. Almost so extreme difference. The Russell up 3.5%, the NASDAQ down 2.5%. They struggled for an explanation or an analogous time period where that occurred. But my videos actually predicted that that would happen. That event was imminent, because I did mention we were 5 up on tech, right? We were 5 up on tech, and I said you guys hear on my video, every time you have a 5, you always lose the whole 5. The 5 is gone on the next correction typically. So this is an extended fifth wave. So of course it has a lot of room to go. Unfortunately, this is just the first swing down. More than likely, we will bounce and have another low later. So this correction may take a little bit of time, but it's another buyable dip is all it is. But it was pretty scary for some people. And then, of course, on our channel, we knew the IWM had this awesome super bullish count of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And we were going into, we need 3 of 3. Boom, we got that today. Cha-ching. Huge move. I hope everyone got paid. I know I did on this pump. But this is just beginning, guys. This is going much higher. So this is just the first inning, maybe the second inning. Now, the Dow Jones, if you missed the Russell, don't miss the Dow Jones, because guess what? The Dow Jones is about to do what the Russell just did. My guess is what the Dow Jones is doing here is another 1, 2, 1, 2. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 1, 2. Now this 2 was shallow. I was expecting to go a little deeper. It didn't. Very bullish. And now we're coming up. We're coming up out of this consolidation, and we should explode out of here on some news event that has yet happened. I don't know what will cause it. Now looking at this impulse here on the Dow Jones, you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4. So perhaps you get a 5 and then get a pullback, and then this news event comes next week. Or it's super bullish and the news event happens at any moment. Boom. We're out maybe, 1,000 points, maybe even a little higher. So if you missed the Russell, don't miss the Dow Jones, because the Dow Jones still hasn't exploded out, and I do think we will. Now, unfortunately, the triple Qs and the SPY are they're consolidated. Now, the SPY, the count I'm going with now is a more conservative count. 1, 2, 1, 2. I do believe this 3 is in, and 4. So this is the first 4. Many 4s yet to come. This is the first 4, many 4s yet to come. But there's always a chance, I keep saying that this becomes another 1, 2, and we still get a big move out that's even bigger than what this was here. So that's still a possibility. Now, I think in technology, that's less likely. It's less likely that this is another 1, 2. Anything's possible. Could this be a 1, 2? Maybe. That's why I don't want to get too panicky and sell. But for now, we're just going to go with this 4. We're going to go with this 4. We're going to have some 5s and 4s and 5s. And the easy money in technology may be over, while the good money is about to happen in the Russell. And some of the stocks within the Dow Jones are essentially the Dow Jones. As these kind of sync up, and then when they sync up and everything's synced up at the peak, then I think we're ready for our, what you call crash. Our crash that everyone wants so bad and is trying to top tick We're just not synced up for that yet. Rates need to sync up. The dollar index needs to sync up too. Now today, the dollar index broke down, just like I said it would, guys. When we were up here, everyone's freaking out. Oh my God, the dollar, the dollar. I'm like, strong hands, strong sellers are selling here, guys, and laughing their asses off. And today, they got paid, man. Boom. This is the house, the devil's house, whatever you want to call this, the house here is collapsing. But it's not over yet. It's not over yet. This is going to lead to even further declines. And we're going to break this low, and we're going to go even lower. We should come all the way down to 97. When the dollar is here, we need to get worried about selling our precious metals and crypto, I think. But until then, I don't really want to sell it. I have no interest in selling those things. The 10-year bonds, the same thing, guys. We've had these targets for months. Sellers, seller of rates, buyer of bonds, boom, buyer of bonds, boom, buyer of bonds, boom. It's just the bond bears can't win, and they are losing, and they will continue to lose for a while. But then again, they will have the last laugh. They will have the last laugh. So when the bonds are trading here, that's when the bond market's synced up for an interest rate pump, perhaps an inflationary spike, unexpected, or some kind of national crisis of some kind that causes our long end to spike. And guys, yes, there's dark times I think are coming for interest rates in the future on the weekly and monthly time frame. But hell, we don't need to worry about that just yet. So there's no need to worry about that. But there will be a time, maybe in a year, like a year and a half or so, we're going to have to worry about that. We're going to have to then we're going to have similar price action that we saw in 21. My guess, energy rise. It'll be the energy goes up. Some of the commodity related stocks go up, and then everything else is tanking in a bear market, cyclical. So here we go. That's the overall picture. Now the VIX I mentioned, guys. I gave you guys I said watch for the VIX, the C wave, guys. I said watch for the C wave. We got the C wave. Now what I didn't know is what degree we're going to get, and I think it looks like it's a short. It's a lesser degree corrective move. That's good for the bulls. That actually explains the 4s and 5 better. So here we have W, X, Y. So we probably are still in Y. That's what I'm thinking. We're probably still in this third wave move before we get a much higher degree VIX spike where we probably could really put that X in here. But maybe we still go sideways for a little bit, but this sequence is complete, so we should get a 3-wave move to counter balance this, and then we'll see where we are. But I don't trade the VIX, but this was predicting a spike, and we got it. We got the spike. But the spike looks like it's over unless we take this peak back out at 13. And then we'll get a much bigger move. That'll really be some hell of a follow through. Now, the Nasdaq could still have a crash correction, guys. So tomorrow's follow through still has the potential to finish this 4 in a crash correction. We've seen these before, straight down crash corrections. This would drop it probably back down to 474 and end the correction. If that happens, in the target, just we'll see. Would be right here. So I'll have a box here. If we get lucky, the Nasdaq decides to do a crash correction tomorrow to finish this move in one bit well-fell swoop, and then we can go shopping for some of our big cap tech stocks like Amazon is one I would be very interested picking up if tech could do this. Now this isn't guaranteed. The most likely path is not what I just showed. It's this. Is something like that. Okay, just keep almost like a relief rally and then a failure of that rally at some point. All right, that's where I see the market right now. So everything's happening according to plan. I do believe, we need to see more of a correction in the TASDEC. I think the IWM, has got a 4s and 5 and a pullback. So you're just going to have to deal with this chop. It's going to be very volatile depending on what you trade and what you're in. Okay? All right? And you got to be patient. Like GME, guys, you got to be patient, right? GME is about to break out. It may have already. So we have this extended downtrend line. We broke out today. Just broke out. So this is really calling the end to the correction now confidently. Now that we're breaking out today. So now where do we go from here? Well, eventually we will grind higher, squeeze, and come out. It's kind of happened. I'm pretty confident, but people got to be patient. You got to be patient, and perhaps there's a news drop imminent, right? And then the technicals are predicting that. A Roaring Kitty post tomorrow would be perfect timing. Just as we break this downtrend line, he posts something. Boom. That would be perfect sync up with the technicals and news event. So that would be a good thing. And that's almost what happened to us on our last live stream. We'll see if that happens in the next 24, 48 hours. But technically, this thing is ready to roll. We'll see what happens. But you got to be patient. You can't be like, oh, F this. This thing is, it's not moving, I'm out. Like SoundHound. A lot of people dump that shit, SoundHound. But now look at it. It's been up pretty good. The ones that help. So you got to be patient. You can't be so freaking emotional about what, things aren't moving. Even if I'm like, hey, it should move. Like, I can't predict the time. Just the general direction. And usually the direction's right. All right, guys, I'm going to go into Super Chats and then go to questions. I'll start with just from the top. Megan for 10. Adobe. Yeah, Adobe is a stock that I'm in. It doesn't mean anything because I can dump it at any moment, but I'm actually in it for $1,000 price target. Is my target on Adobe. And let me sort this by alphabetical order here so I can find this stuff a lot easier. Here, and I don't know if I lost it or not. I lost it on my list. Okay. Adobe is pulling back in its corrective move off the low. It took it a little bit of time. Of course, everyone's like, oh my God, the gap, it's just going to do this. And it very well could do this. But we don't know. So there's a couple things you need to understand with like wave twos. Wave twos are always violent and deep. They're always violent and deep, and they this is coming off of a higher degree wave two. So the odds of this wave two being shallow and short are low. The chances of it either being a crash is high or long and drawn out is high. So if you're a day trader, you probably should just dump it here, and the odds are it's not going to just drop in here and moon. It can still do that. Now, if you're a long-term holder, you just hold it. But I do think it's going to be in a longer correction, possibly on the 4-hour, even the daily. Yeah, definitely the 4-hour, the daily, possibly even the daily. It may need to bleed down. I think it needs to bleed the 4-hour all the way down. So I think it's going to take time, and it's just starting. The correction's just starting. So I don't know what it's going to look like. But it does seem like as long as it's below this peak, it's turning lower at 583, and I would expect more downside. And at some point, you'll see 3 waves, ideally on the 4-hour time frame, and it will reverse out in wave 3 when no one's expecting it, and then that will be it. But I can't rule out, a lot of scenarios. It could drop. It could very well do what I have here. It could sideways. It could even end soon. This is the wave 4 cluster. They tend to always come back and touch that. So 522 would be a good area to think about. Like it could end here, but you still have a big gap, right? And the market seems to really love filling these gaps lately. So I just don't know. But if it does do that, you guys can get back in on it here and stop out there, and then you could get a second chance entry or add to your position. Let's go to IGV. IGV. IGV is the software space. Okay, good thing is we broke this high. Huge. Okay, so the software sector is very bullish because we broke that high. So this pullback will eventually lead to new all-time highs, and eventually this will break. So this is a very bullish chart that you want to buy when the right setup comes. So here it looks like we've got. Let me go back into the start with the weekly. So here you have a truncated correction that ended here in a three-wave move, and you essentially went vertical off the low, and now you're pulling back. Okay, so just like Adobe, you probably need a deeper pullback. You know, maybe down to 83.67. I mean, here I see a better like connector emerging. So your first area of real true support is right here. And then the market will decide either it's going to just come in here and moon out, or it's going to bounce and fail. Unfortunately, I can't predict which one it will do, but I think the odds of it just going up from here is low, is like 10% chance. I think this is either this path I have here, or it bounces and fails and it comes out later. But this is one you want to pick up. You want to pick this up. You know, the way to trade this is you buy it here, and then if it bounces and fails, you buy more. And if it just moons here, well then it's just the way it goes. You missed it. There's nothing you could do. Or it moons and you could break this high at 89, you know, 89.50, and then you could try to momentum chase it and just market buy it, and maybe you catch a wave 3 and you just enjoy the ride of the wave 3 breakout, which I don't trade that way, but once in a while you can get lucky doing that. And that's just sometimes that happens. All right, the rest of your question for Adobe, do you think this current pullback will go to 542? Also, you think it will go for wave 5? Will the tech rotation hurt its upward path? You know, you think it would because it's all correlated, but I don't put a lot of weight in those kind of correlations. Maybe the semiconductors will suck wind and the software stocks are going to surge. Maybe there'll be a handover. I don't know. I'm speculating. I don't know. I don't care. The reason I'm just reading the chart, and this chart is bullish. I would say that maybe this is implying tech isn't in a wave 4. Maybe it's in another 1-2 for all we know, right? Who's to say technology? Who's to say that this is a wave 3? What if this whole thing is another 1-2? And we still have 3 of 3. Okay, I still have targets up here. We're still far away. I mean, it's possible. I don't think it's likely, but I don't like to guess where the top is in a bull market like this, because the market just keeps extending in this parabolic blow off top. So how do you know when to get out? Well, when the first real historic wave 4 comes, the one that I'm showing here on the SPY up here, this one, the one that is matched to the 2021 bear market, we'll all know when this comes. That's when you know it's time. The time is over. Because we'll have a Volmageddon event, and then as we rebound out, you can start dumping your positions, and I could care less if I get this 5th wave or not. That will be how you get out of the market, and then you'll watch in awe as the whole thing collapses later. But I think the best way to wait is you don't do anything. You wait for your Volmageddon event, and you still don't do anything, and then you stabilize, and then you bounce, and then okay, as you're coming out in the relief rally, then you decide, do I want to leave this market and ring the register and get out, go cash, or do I play the wave 5 and see where it goes? So, but anyway, that's how I look at this Adobe stock. And I told you, I think with Adobe, I'm looking for the best way to target the bottom here is the wave 4 low, which is right here. So I actually think most likely you're going to hit 525. 525. I think 542 is pretty certain you're going to hit that. And you may hit that even tomorrow even, because you've got to move down here, right here to 544. So the first bounce should come here, and more than likely this bounce will fail. This bounce will fail, and then the correction should end. But this is the most likely path, but it's too early to get too worked up about where things are going. All right, Anonymous for 20, MIGI, HUT, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, the usual suspects. All right, so Bitcoin, the forecast for Bitcoin is still volatile. Guys, we got a 1, 2. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a connector right here. So the buy area for this bounce would be 55.8. So we should see a lot of weakness coming. And then this is really a big test for Bitcoin, because either this is a corrective bounce, like see 3 waves, and if it is, we're going to break this low. It will have a massive capitulation move, right? Which will be supported in a wave 2, right? But if not, we should bounce here, and then we should come right up to 64,000, and it's all good. So we don't know the future. No one knows what the crypto market has in store, but you have to respect both possibilities and just prepare, right? Prepare. But I do think a lot of technical traders and computers, if this wick breaks, are going to stop out and they're going to start shorting hard. So it is going to drive the price down. It's going to drive the price down into this area, into this wave 4 cluster. I'm almost certain of it, and you'll get this wave 2, and you'll get a major correction 1, 2. Okay. So again that has to affect the forecast of all these stocks on what you believe, right? So I'm forecasted in as Bitcoin bottomed, but we'll look at each one and see if it tells us something a little different. So here you go. MGI is in a wave 2. We did get a bounce, but we failed. So we're still in wave 2, but it should find support soon. It should. So this is bullish, right? So this is supporting the case that maybe Bitcoin is bottoming. And this would drop us to about $1.12, right? But we need to hold this low at $1.03. So it's a small area that has to hold. If it holds, it goes vertical. Now, if this breaks down, it's a corrective move, and the whole thing will unravel fast. It would unravel really fast, and I would not want to trade it anymore. So very important point, but it could even truncate. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's my MIGI. HUT. HUT finished this wave 5, and we're pulling back in the first wave 4. Here. Okay. So where's wave 4 buyable? Well, the buy area would be, this one has a nice clear entry, 1389, 1323 for wave 5. And again, I always say this could be another 1, 2, right? Another 1, 2, and it just extends and continues. So I'm not showing that possibility, but you have to respect that possibility. So it's probably worth a dip, worth buying, because if you look at the big picture, technically, you have all this massive consolidation here. If we start breaking out of that, it does have the possibility of really mooning. So there's always a chance that this isn't a 4, it's another 2. So this could be a really good buyable opportunity here, and if you get lucky, congratulations, you'll double your money. If not, you at least get something out of it, and then it's just going to keep doing this like choppiness or whatever. How's LTCN doing? Remember I said it was weak, and it looked like it would break this low, it still looks that way. It still looks that way. I don't, I'm not sure. I think it's going to triple correct, but it doesn't. This looks like an impulse down, so it still looks like to me that it wants to take a dump down here and triple correct. And you're like, why is that? Litecoin's bullish. Well, because it doesn't trade with the coin. And that's why I try to keep telling people. These grayscale things do not trade with the coin. They trade because they have premium. They trade outside that. So I think it's something like, it could be something like that. So nothing's changed my mind otherwise yet. What would change my mind is if we take this high out at 22.87. But it's got to get moving because it's rolling over. And it could always break through this area. So let's look at our trend line support. There's a little bit of support here at 15. Not a lot. So good luck on that. Now we have another one that's been more bullish. Now this one I like. This one I like. Bitcoin Cash more bullish. Nice boom, explosion, 3-wave move, another explosion, 2 waves, impulsive. I would call this probably another 1-2 here. Maybe we drop down to 915 and we come out. So this is much more bullish. This is a different look than LTCN in my opinion. But you have to do what's best for you. What I would really like to see again is confirmation that we can break 1054. But I do think that I wouldn't be surprised to see us drop to 908 to continue this move higher. Now, if we don't do that, this one's different because see here, it's not a triple because you already broke the correction. So this is a very important level. 780 has to hold or it could be a much bigger decline. So I would stop out. I wouldn't want to trade it anymore. So it's still a different technical picture because I think LTCN, if I looked at it, if I remember what I saw here, if you draw the trend line, you barely broke out. You barely broke out here of the downtrend. I mean, you did break it a little bit, but barely. But the Bitcoin Cash, a very convincing break. So this cycle is true. This cycle is definitely ended with this correction. But LTCN, this is weak. This bounce is weak, so it could be part of the same corrective move still. Okay. Thanks for the super chat. So I'm just gonna keep going through the super chats like I normally do, guys. S1 Dearburn, yeah, PLL is reacting nicely, right? It's tempting to FOMO in on that right now, guys. It's tempting to FOMO in on PLL, but I don't want to FOMO in on it. I don't want to FOMO in on it because I still think it's got this wave 5 coming. I just got it in my gut that this got one more low. But if we keep going a little bit stronger, yeah, I think you got to call the bottom in. So but again, this does not look like 5 waves at all, right? This looks this doesn't look good at all. So I'd have to really relook at the structure to justify even calling this a bottom. But if we're going to fail, let's see, where would we fail? Let's just try to, and again, I would never short this. We should fail right here, right now. So this thing is due to fail at like any moment. If it's a 4, if this is gonna, so we'll see. We'll see in the next couple trading days if we reverse out of this. But yeah, guys, keep an eye on this wave 5. You get this wave 5, could be a really good opportunity for long-term investors on this. Even day traders. Even day traders. PALL, we saw this on our channel and we called the bottom on this, right? I think we called the bottom and nothing has changed my opinion of that yet. Although I had this as my real target right here and we're not quite there. So if we do get a dump down to 72, then this was just a 4 and I was just off by a swing. Again, it looks to me pretty convincing. The stochastic looks like it broke out, right? On the weekly. Say new cycle. How about the monthly? Turning up. So yeah, I mean, it looks like to me the bottom's in. It's in a bottoming process, right? You know, most stocks don't V-bottom, right? Most things don't V-bottom. So it's going to like, people are going to accumulate. It's going to chop. People are going to be impatient, leave the trade. We'll see where this goes. But it looks like to me it's bottomed, man. It just looks like to me it's bottomed. But do what's best for you. Lab up, I think, is good. Trades with the Russell heavily, right? So I bet it had a really good day today. Did it have I wonder if did it have a good day today? I didn't even look at it. Oh yeah, 7%. Yeah, it had a good day. This thing loves yeah. So we see we had this 1 2 1 2 boom. It's playing out. It's playing out. So it's got more extension coming, right? We got to get. We're going higher. So that there's really nothing else to say about that. And we had that right call. And Baidu, guys, we called that. We backed into the low on Baidu. Baidu backing into the low means if it breaks a key pivot, then it has to basically go bankrupt, right? Because the stock technically is a go to zero, right? Because here's our key pivot, 72. If we break 72, then this was a connector for the entire decline all the way back up at 300 something, which basically means it's essentially going to zero, going down here again, $20. So either you believed it was going to $20 or that was the low. And so it looks like that was the low. So I think you've got a tradable low here. And look, it's about to surge. It's continuing. Yeah, it looks like it's V-bottoming. It looks like panic buying right now happening. Panic buying. Fear, but the fear of missing out. It's the opposite of the fear of a crash. It's the fear of missing gains. So we'll be conservative. We'll call this a 3 and 4 for now, right? Okay. But so maybe you come back and fill that gap at 97. I would be looking for right here. Fills the gap. Maybe you have this other gap if you get really lucky, 95. And then you can really get the price action you're looking for. And guys, big picture, usually the weak dollar helps China. Now here's the thing with China. The Hang Seng isn't quite where I want it to be. I like to see it get a little bit lower. Okay? But when this is set, when this gets set and this X is in and we get Y, then it's all is going to moon again. All the China stuff's going to moon again. So that will be rocket fuel for Baidu, right? So, but right now Baidu is trading against this trend, this downtrend. So it could be, so that's not helping things. Now I know today we're up, but more than likely whatever's happening today is going to fail again. So like I think it's still got to grind lower, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. We've had some wicks fail. Maybe this will fail again. If we break out here, I would just call this, let's see here. Yeah, you see how you don't have divergence mostly. So I would say that this would be just a connector wave extension that would fail later. I would just do something like that. But for now, we'll just do this. In fact, this is likely, right? This is probably likely. Now, I'm thinking, looking at this swing structure, but we'll see. Okay, Donald for 10, Tesla. So Tesla was a scary correction for people. There was some news that made people fearful because they delayed their robotaxi event, allegedly. For all we know, that will be rescinded after hours. But we don't really trade on the news. So we did know that the 4-hour had to correct, right? The 4-hour was way too overbought. I mean, good Lord. So now we did that. Now what we do know is typically the 4-hour gets overbought like we had here, pulls back, and we make a wave 5 with divergence. And then we consolidate, okay? So I would expect a similar situation. A wave 4 that maybe backtests this downtrend line. Perhaps we could get to 233, and then we actually come up and make a new high. Now this new high has a couple possibilities. This could be another one too. If it is, then we're actually going to like 400, guys. 380, 400 before anyone realizes it. I know it's hard to believe. Then I don't know why we would do that, but I'm just telling you the technical setup. If this becomes a wave 2, if this becomes a wave 2, the technical setup allows a massive move higher up to here. It will tag 400. You can archive this video. Now, if it's a 4, okay, we get a 5, and then we're going to get a pullback. We're going to get a pullback around 2. Maybe we tag 300. Maybe we break this high here technically, which would be good. And then we pull back and meander around for a while. And then somewhere at some point, news is dropped, the technicals are ready, and then you get the Tesla vertical price action that we're all accustomed to see in wave 3 of 3, and we blow out of here. And essentially, I think we'll take a straight line up to 600 and then have a massive drop down and then another pump, and then that'll probably be the cycle. So that's what I'm thinking. So that's why I don't like selling TSLL and being cute with it, because I can't predict the future with Tesla, but I do know when it moves. If this wave 3, if we are in the middle of a wave 3 of the grand super cycle, it should be vertical type price action, guys. That's what we should be seeing. So that's just something to keep in mind. But right now, this is the most conservative view, and I always like to give the conservative view, and you have to do what's best for you on that. Okay, Coinbase, I think we still had it hit in another low, right? So that implies maybe Bitcoin's got to be weak, right? Could Bitcoin surprise us with a surprise dump? 181. So I'm still looking for 181. This is a great buy, guys. Coinbase here is a great buy. This is a nice 3-wave setup. Beautiful move. A beautiful 3-wave setup if we get this. If we get this. Beautiful. So let's see. Good setup coming potentially. And SOXL, I do, so Semiconductor ETF, triple bull is interesting chart. So I have 5 up here and we're pulling back. I want to see it. I got to change my targets. This was old. I'd like to see it come back down to 54 to tag this wave 4 cluster again as it continues higher. We broke this high, right? We have a major correction. So big picture, guys, big picture on this. Guys, we've been in this, by the way, since $25. Hell, we almost got in here at 13, and we actually shorted it here at 28. We actually shorted it here. This was the bear, right? We got the bear right here, but this, we didn't get enough of a dip here, this entry to get that, but we got that entry at 25. Now, where are we on the cycle? Well, I look at this cycle. This cycle is already ended, right? This first cycle already ended here. It ended here at 30, okay? And this was a nice 3-wave entry. I don't have the box here, but I got on here and doubled my money. This was a nice, easy money. This was easy money, and I got out of this trade. Just a nice flip, double your money, and out. Now, where are we now? Well, here I look at it as, again, I'm looking at it from an RSI standpoint. So I look at it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're pulling back, and we should go higher, right? We should break the all-time high, and we should go higher into these areas eventually. So where are we now? Well, we're correcting this first wave. Let's go to the daily cycle. So what I'm looking for is a daily cycle correction. This to come down. So this correction is going to take a while. That's why I thought NVIDIA could be at risk of a deeper correction in some of these other stocks, which is why I did not want to buy them just yet. But sometimes we've seen NVIDIA run and this actually sell off a little bit. So it just depends. But here it is. This is where I would be looking for, but you'll have to do what's best for you. But if we could get a drop down into this $50, $49 area, Could be a good opportunity here. All right, let's go to the next one, Mark V. A few non-ASX stocks. All right, let's see, RTO. Let's see if we've done these before or not on our requested stocks here. We don't have RTO, so let's add that. The symbol sounds familiar. Yeah, I guess we've never charted this one on our channel. All right, so technically, look, you see how you broke that high? That's a good sign, right? That's a good sign. Off the low. That's a good sign. Let's see. Yeah, and then you tagged it. So it's a good sign, but it didn't really get the extension you're looking for. So let's just assume that's 3 waves. That's bullish. We're bullish off this low. If we're bullish off this low, which I think is a reasonable thing to assume, right? Something like that. So here it looks like that's your 3, 4. And this is your 5. And you're in a flat. You're in a flat. So you're stuck. It looks like to me you're stuck in a flat, which means it's coming back down to these lower levels in a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. So you gotta be careful. Don't be trapped in the flat correction. But let's take another look at sometimes you have to go to a higher time frame to really see. Yeah, I think you gotta be careful of a bull trap here. I wouldn't like to trade it on the long side until this peak is taken out at 41, which would negate my chart, and then it would become like a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? But right now, the way I would label this is just simply a 1, 2, down, and another 1. And even 2 could even be in here, or we come up a little more and down. So that's how I label it. So I think it could have there could be a danger of a reversal at 34.97, if you want to call it that, somewhere in this area for a catastrophic decline, right? Because this would be pretty catastrophic. So tough call. I don't personally trade anything that looks like this, but watch it. And if this flat plays out, it should come back to the wave 4 cluster right around down here. All right. Next is LOB. Let's take a look if we've got that. Don't see that one. Looks like another new one. Live Oak Bank shares. All right. Looks like 5 up. And that looks like an A and a B. And do we want a C? I think you got to call the correction done here. In a let's see here. So this is some kind of A, B. There's 3 here. No, that's A, B, C. Yeah, it's a strange correction. It truncated, but that's how I would label it. Something like that. And then it's coming out in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Let's see. Although we don't have the divergence that I would expect to see for a 5-wave move. Let's go to the monthly time frame. I still don't see it. So this could still be only 3 up. So let's take a look here. You broke that low. So it looks actually very corrective in nature. So I do think it's going to make another swing lower in a more complex correction. something like this. It's going to do something like that. But you'll have to do what's best for you on this. I would assume that that we do have 5 up. So at some point we'll break this low, but then it would stay supported, and we'll get a similar move like this out. So I just don't like trading it here. But if we were to take out 48, then I would just force the label as a 1-2-1-2, and it's going to go pretty high. So, but here, to me, it looks more corrective. And then this looks like more impulsive down in some kind of lead-in diagonal down that end it. And now we're pulling back, and we'll come back up. Maybe we could come up to 39 and then down. And again, this is a Y, so it'll be just 3. So this move will be really sharp and very deep, unexpected. We won't get a 4 and a 5, so it's not the proper way to label this, by the way. I need to do it like this. It'd have to be something like that. If it's a Y, if this is right, but do what's best for you. All right, the next is KNSL. Okay, looks like we do have this one. Let's take a look. Whoops. So we have charted it before. We called the buy here, it looks like, and we're, yeah, so I wouldn't change a thing. The 4 looks like it's in. It looks like it's getting ready to squeeze, right? So I would say it looks like to me it's consolidating and waiting for an explosive move to the upside. And that's what it looks like to me. But you have to do what's best for you. I mean, I guess we could try to look at it a little bit closer. There's your 3. There's your 3. Maybe it could make one more low. Make one more low at 368.85 potentially against this low. Against this low. It's possible. And then now if this breaks, then what we will have is not a 4 anymore. This will become a 1, 2, and it will double correct. It'll go much lower. I would stop out in the trade if I was trading it. If I was long here, I would be stopping out at this if the low breaks. Okay, I think I got him. Thanks again, Mark. Let's go to the next super chat from Kerwin. AMC. AMC from December 20 to June 21 and compare it to GME. Repeating patterns. Let's see here. AMC, let's take a look at that. Here. All right, let's take a look at AMC back in December 20 to June 21. So let's take a look at where that time period is. So December 20 was right around here. The Jan 21. Look at that. Okay. So so here you made a lower low, right? So this is the bottom, right? Yeah, I don't know why TradingView does that. I have to go back. There we go. Okay. So so here, like, look, you see you have the 1, 2, 1, 2, and it just extended up, right? And then we came down, right? So you had, yeah, very similar pattern, right? You had 3-wave move, right? You had 5 waves up, right? You had a 1, and then you had some kind of 2 here, right? And then right here, right? You had the 5 up. Looking very similar to GME, right? Isn't this looking very similar to GME, right? You had some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could put the 5 there or there, wherever. And then what? You can remember you consolidate it, right? Right? GME, we had you know, we're kind of like, this is kind of where we're in, or maybe we're even in this, right, situation. Probably more like the analog is probably here. So yeah, we come out and come back and see your, and then you come up and then you're like, and then, oh my God, right? That's probably what's going to happen, guys. That's probably this analog is almost probably. Thanks for bringing this out, Kerwin. This is probably very similar to what will happen in GME in a lot of ways. So it's very similar. So like if I go to GME now, right, we do the same thing, right? Does this look familiar? A pump, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you kind of consolidate, and then here's your trend line, right? And now you're breaking out. So maybe we kind of come up, you know, come up here, and then we dump again, and then we kind of come back up, and we come up, and then it's just like, bam, right? Let's see if that happens. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen. Wouldn't that be something? Let's look at one more thing here. Yeah, so there's the first AMC here. Let's go back to the pump here. Where were we at? Yeah, back here. Okay, so that'd be a better analog, right? Because there's the peak. Oh wait, we got to draw the peak from this peak. So this peak to that peak. There. Okay, guys, so that's where GME is right now. Okay? So if we follow the analog of AMC, we're going to pump out, and then we're going to lose the whole thing. But that's just shaking out weak hands. Look, see? So we'll see what happens. So that's where this is GME right now today, right there. Right now, right there. So will we pump out and fail? And see, there's the wave 5 high, there's the high, and then we pull back. So that would be, right? The similar situation would be we break out, we kind of come up to like 33, we come all the way back down to 23, and then we come all the way up to 47, and then out. So let's just draw it up. Let's just draw it up for the hell of it, just to see if it happens. I mean, I don't know. I never charted something like this, like using analogs like that. But you know, what do I know? Maybe the market's manipulated a little bit. You know, I don't know. There, we come down, then we come up, and then we come back down around here, and then we moon. Let's see. Let's see if that's the play. I'll just leave it there. I don't know. It may maybe work out like that. That'll be interesting. IWM XRT, does it look right? Yeah, the IWM absolutely looks right to support GME because IWM is moving and it broke this high. It sets up these prices now. Now we're set up for these moves up to the 250. So yes, IWM check. If IWM didn't do that, then I'd be like worried. Now the XRT, I've heard that GME trades with the XRT. I can't validate that, so I don't know if that's even true or not. I don't know. I don't even remember if I've ever charted. Where is the XR? What the XRT doing these days? I don't even know. It's got to be, looks like a 1-2-1-2 setup, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. So here's a 1-2, and then this is some kind of other 1-2 here. Now the question is the correction done there? Oh, it's a flat. So yeah, it's probably done. It's probably a flat. A, B, C. Let's take a look here. Actually, maybe it isn't. Yeah, see, this is tricky. This is a tricky story. See, this does not look like 5 waves, right? This looks like 3 waves. So that's why I put the one there, and I call it a flat. So if I call, so I'm still going to call it a flat. But see, the cycle, the flat really ends it right here, right? But you broke that low. So I think it's like the Russell, right? I think you're going to get a bigger relief rally that will fail later. But see, it's got to stay above this peak. So see on the monthly time frame though, this second drop. Okay, yeah, still divergence. Okay. Yeah, I got it. It's like the same chart of the Russell, but the Russell's showing more upside, so more than likely this has more upside too, of some kind, right? So so you have to call this some kind of W here, some kind of three-wave move there, and then you have to impulse out in Y or 3 waves in Y. So your first impulse was I think it just ended. One, two. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to do something like this. So this 5 either just end it or will end. You get A, you're at B, and you get C. And then that will fail later. So yeah, this supports GME too. When this B is in, when this B and the B before I know the B's set already. Probably not though. Um, yeah, but this is probably a connector wave, so it's probably going to bounce and fail one more time and come back down to this area. So I'd be looking for something like that. But you have to do what's best for you. But I don't know how GME is affected by this. I guess it is retail, right? GameStop's retail, so maybe yeah, maybe it's in this ETF too. But this is how I look at this decline, and then boom, it'll come back down. Okay, later. That's what I have the Russell doing, by the way. All right, next is Joel. Let's go to yours. SEDG. SEDG. Let's see if we've done that one before. Requested stocks. SEDG. Yeah, we have not done that one yet. Solar Edge. I've heard it. Um, it's definitely one I've heard about. Yeah, kind of a tragedy here. What happened? All right. So right away, you see the divergence at the peak here. Um, so it was an extended fifth of some kind. Yeah. Well, here we go. Oh, sorry, I got the peak here. So it's a 1-2, 1-2. So yeah, if that's your 3, 4, 5, we're gonna have to go to a small just to analyze this a little bit better here. So what's interesting is in the weekly time frame, you see your wave 3 was here, but you see these peaks. The peak is back here. So I actually think at some point in the future, this more than likely will go to new highs. It's hard to believe. But if it still can stay in existence, but there's no guarantee it could be saved. But if it could be saved, there's opportunity here. Um, I have to call this some kind of 1-2. Have to be something like that, maybe. This is some kind of flat. And then this looks like a flat in its own, yeah. Yeah, let's try to label this a little bit better. One, two, three, four. So it's a 1-2, 1-2. Something like that. See how you took that divergence out? Let's go to the higher time frame, but not in the higher degree. So I'll still leave the label in like this. So to me, it needs a bounce and one more low. And then that should do it. That should do it. Where that will be, if it can stay in existence. And if it can and survive, the future is going to be really nice for this, because it seems like solar must be the thing that's going to catch on again, and we'll get another ramp out of this. But the question is, will it survive whatever, this final push lower? All right. I could be off by a swing, but for right now, that's how I look at it. But this wave 4 will be strong. You saw how that wave 2. So this will be a pretty strong wave 4. It may bounce all the way back up to 100 even, but it should fail. That's what I'd be looking for. All right, RUN here. Let's take a look if we've done that one before. We have not. Sunrun, another solar stock. It looks like we have charted this successfully so far. We called the 1-2, a 3, a 4, and it looks like we're in 5. I'm actually going to go a little more bullish on that. I'm going to say that the 3 was here, the 4 was here, the 5 was here, and this cycle was 1-2. So this one's a little different, right? One company's bullish, the other one not so bullish. So if I had my pick, I'll pick this one. Sunrun looks like it's a more bullish chart setup. Yeah, see, you're already breaking out. All right, thanks for that. And TNA, yeah, TNA is doing pretty well, right? It had a good day today, 10%. This one I'm in. And my chart on TNA is pretty straightforward for right now. 1-2, 1 AB, C for 2. What's interesting is this one shows a bottom, but the index itself doesn't, so it's kind of mixed messages. So I don't expect this to actually hold. I'm just trading it based on the impulse. But when the Russell gets up to, the way I would trade this is when the Russell gets up to these areas here, I'd probably get rid of. So when the Russell trades to 250, 260, I don't want to be in TNA no matter the count. I'm just leaving it. I'm just taking my money and running it. But I'm just staying true to the count now. And here it's a 1 2 1 2 1 2, and we should be hitting wave 3 of 3, right? So boom, we should be coming out of this. And this is a massive consolidation, so it should really create a lot of upside potential. So that's what I'm hoping for. All right. Khaled, silver and Dell. Yeah, silver is another one that I like, of course. Silver is always a good one to be in. It was up today. It was up today, right, with the dollar weakness. So silver, I'm still calling this wave 5 to about $35. There's nothing that's changed, right? We've had this chart for months, guys, and nothing has changed, and we're only going higher. So I'll just seeing a continuation higher. Now this could be a flat still, and we get a little trick drop, but don't let that shake you out. But I still think we're going higher. Now it can still moon, because this could easily become another 1-2. If this becomes a 1-2, then it's going to blow through these targets, and we're heading up to $50. We're heading up to $50 fast, way fast. So got to, and the way we're going right now, it's like maybe that's what's going to happen, because that's what I would expect, just like vertical type price action with no pullbacks. So we'll need to wait and see if the 5 erases divergence. If not, this is the count. And then Dell, yeah, Dell was a bunch. So I have a bunch of these AI stocks or stocks in the AI sector that I was not chasing. I did not want to chase until I got another pullback like we got today. Let me find Dell here. So this was my count in Dell. A, B, 1, 2. I'm looking for 109. Now, did anything change that view? We only have 3 up. So if we can take out 150.70, that will negate the bearish view. But it's at the moment of truth, right? So I do believe there is a risk for a bigger correction, but what will be an absolute great opportunity to buy it, and I will be picking that up if this happens. So this is so far, this is what I've got, and what happened today, now it may be more likely than it seemed 24 hours ago. So we'll see how it goes. All right, Mike, Tesla, eBay, TLT. Now Tesla I did already on my live stream, but I'll do it again real quick. Tesla, we've got a 4 wave, and we should see a 5th wave, and then a longer pullback. The other possibility is it's a 1-2, and then it goes vertical to 380, 400. So that's why I don't like selling it. A lot of weak hands left Tesla today, and they'll probably regret doing that later, and they'll be chasing it. I mean, it was such a fearful day in Tesla. I got a call from my sister who has Tesla and was panicking, asking if she should dump her Tesla today. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I didn't think the sell-off was that bad. I mean, I never get a call from her about stock. Like, so whatever was being floated around the news media, and believe me, she does not do this for like, she is not in this like market. She's a long-term 401k investor, like, but she was ready to sell our Tesla. I'm like, what the hell is going? I'm like, no, don't do that. But if that's the type of fear that was out there, then we may have got some massive capitulation today, and then this may be a wave 2. It may not be a wave 4. If the mom and pop 401k holders dumped today because they were scared, yeah, we didn't get it deep enough, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's how I look at Tesla, man. eBay. Hasn't eBay been sucking wind, right? eBay's been sucking wind, I think, for a while. Where are we at with eBay? Oh, it looks like it's in a short area. Yeah, it's in a short area. So I'm expecting a turn down for the next leg lower, eventually hitting 27. So yeah, I wish I had better news, but that's all I can really say here. What would negate that? The only thing that would negate that for me would be yeah, I don't know. I think we'd have to take out 58, and maybe I would be convinced it's not this. But I don't know. But we haven't made the turn yet, so it's in a danger area for a reversal. If it has earnings coming up, perhaps it's got massive, bad news coming. Just something I don't know. But I'm not. You gotta do what's best for you. That's why I don't like trading it. TLT is going higher, right? TLT is in, we caught, I'm in TMF, right? I'm playing it through the triple levered fund. I've been in TMF, guys. And again, if you follow me, where we've been in this TMF all the way back here, right? 42, right? We just got to be patient, but we're getting there. We're coming up to, we'll get to the 80s. So plenty of upside for TLT yet to come. TLT did hit a buy area here. Did hit a buy area again between the 4 and the 2. That's why I had that here, right? That's why I picked this area, and boom, that's where we bounced. And now we're about ready to really launch. You're like, well, today we launched. No, I mean really launch. So I don't know what news is about to drop, but something's really going to get rates to really drop quite a bit soon on the long end. But this should be finishing up at least. Well, at least I'm looking for 112, 115, and then we'll see if we could get a 4 and 5. That's a huge development in the interest rate market. I actually think we will only get 3, and then potentially we can go back and actually break this low. So that's why I only like trade. I only like trade in bonds. I don't like an investment in bonds here. But so TMF is a great trade-in vehicle for this, right? It's a trade-in vehicle, so it's a good trade-in vehicle. And we'll see where we end up. Wow for 5. CHZ. Let's take a look at that here. It looks like it's another new one. CHZ chill is I guess is that a yeah, there it is. It's a coin, crypto. Okay. Well, I figured it was a crypto. All right, let's take a look here. So it looks like the last time we played around with this thing was a long time ago. And it looks like we called the wave 5 peak, and that was it. And sure enough, we actually called that. That was a pretty good call right there. Look at that. Boom. But then it ended, right? What happens after 5 waves? It pulls back, right? So where are we? Bigger picture. A flat. And we held the low. So this is a massive opportunity potentially. So we'll get rid of all this. So is this thing, I mean, this could be about to go vertical, guys. But the stop, I would stop out here at 5.4. Maybe give yourself some room. 5.2. It's a super low risk, massive high reward setup. It doesn't get any better than this, guys. Because look, I got the 5 waves. I got the flat structure. I got an impulse off the low. It held the bottom. So looking good. But do what's best for you. Good luck on that if this holds. Now if this doesn't hold, then it's this was a connector wave of some kind, and it's going to be lights out, go to 0. So it's got to hold. It's got to hold this low, which is probably why it bounced there. All right, anonymous HEZEN. Yeah, I look at that once in a while. I have no idea what that coin does. I have no idea what the hell that thing does. What's a Hezen, Horizon? But I do like to make money, so I do keep an eye on these things because they can really pump. So I look at this as an A, a B, and this looks too truncated for me here. But again, it may have truncated. So I don't like the setup, but we gotta say that here Once this daily trend line breaks, the correction's over, but you don't have that confirmation. So it's either this and it's finished and it's about to moon, or it's still in C. But it's looking less likely the longer we hang up in here. So it's at 50-50. I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know. But I mean, I think you're just the market hasn't made up its mind yet. So I think right now, if there's any clues, perhaps we can look at how it came off this low. It looks impulsive off the low, right? So it looks like it's bottomed. And that looks like three waves. And that looks like an impulse. So it looks like to me, it looks like it bottomed. That's my clue. This is my clue that perhaps it's already in a low, right? But you have to do what's best for you. I'm not buying it because I have no idea what the hell it does. Like I don't know, and I don't. I mean, and I don't. The technical setup is still, I don't. It's not perfect, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it have bottomed here, if you're asking me where it's going, and then we come out, and we go vertical. All right, but you get the idea. So anyway, that's Horizon Coin. Popcorn Tuna. Yeah, I have a Twitter account. My Twitter is Elliot Wave Sage, and you'll find me on there. I'm on Twitter pretty often. Penn. Let's go to the next one. Mitso. Penn. So we used to get a lot of requests for, I think, Penn, if I remember right. Um, Let me see if I saved it. I don't think I saved it though. Let's see here. Yeah, we don't have it saved. All right, needless to say, this was the grand supercycle top, right? This looks like an impulse, right? I mean, that's what it looks like. Now the question is it a flat? So you have to study the peak, and it looks like a flat to me, right? I mean, it looks like three waves and up, so it looks like a flat correction, a horrific looking flat that should be coming to an end soon, right? So that's actually the first impulse. It's still going. Too many people trying to catch the bottom of this thing. There's too many people trying to the bottom tick this thing. Damn, why is it so bearish? It's too bearish. This is too bearish. This is almost like saying it's gonna go belly up, man. I mean, I don't know this company, but unless I've got it wrong here. Well, let's take a look. It's not a flat. Yeah, let's it's this too bearish, and I'm so I look at this first wave down. Here we have no divergence, and then we get this bearish divergence and a reversal out, and we're coming out. So I mean, this looks like a full impulse, but when I go to the monthly time frame, I see the three-wave nature of the move of the flat. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go back, kind of go back and relabel this a little bit, and I'll explain a little bit better in a minute. but this is the only count that makes sense. So you have the bullish divergence to signal the wave 5, but if you actually, look at the structure, you need a corrective move, right? So you have an A, B, C, right? So you have a 3 swing move. So at the higher time frame, you don't want to see divergence, and you don't. So I think based on that perspective, I'm okay with what I'm seeing here. And now we'll have to look at this wave 5. So this would be your 3 of 5 right here. Yeah, so it's done. So I think it found the low here, and it's built in higher highs. It's ready for probably a big move higher. All right, that's my guess. Do what's best for you, but it could be in a new cycle higher. But I want to see a bigger reaction. But if you look at the weekly cycle, you see it's done. So yeah, this correction is over now. Looking at it, kind of looking through it and studying it a little bit better. So this is about to see the power of wave 3 soon. All right, CLMT. Let's take a look at that. So a nice 3-wave move, and we come off the low. So we're bullish off the low. And some kind of, that's an interesting count here. So yeah, I mean, I look at this and we have to go to a lower time frame. So this has to be the first cycle right here. This is the first cycle, 1, 2. And then it had just a weird wave 3. It's just kind of a bizarre pattern. And the bottom's here, yep. So yeah, this is just like a bizarre structure. Something like that, or an ABC, but it should be building higher from this low. And you see how it's like right between the 2 and the 4 there. So this thing could be ready to go vertical too. I don't know, what is this? This one I'm interested in. What is it? Oh, oil refining, energy. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe with Trump it's bullish now. I don't know, but it looks interesting to me. I'm gonna actually keep an eye on that one myself. I'll keep an eye on that one. See if we can come out of this. Okay, good luck. PayPal. I think PayPal was in a buy area or was close to it. Last time we updated PayPal, if I remember right, on our channel, we were getting close. Yep, PayPal hit our buy area. I think it was we were on live stream, and it should be turning up. Okay, pretty simple. More than likely that this correction is over. More than likely. Um, PZZA, is that on Papa John's or something? Yeah, Papa John's. Yeah, I don't like trading this one. I've had this one on a 4 and a 5, right, for a while. I think Papa John's, I think, um, heading down to 32.63. It is due for a bigger bounce, though, right? But that bounce should fail. So this is my buy area. I do believe, though, a bigger bounce is imminent and a failure. But this is the area. And the SoFi, yeah, SoFi has been really strange stock for a lot of people. A lot of hope tied to this stock, but for some reason the hope is just becoming like hopeless, right? We pretty much have nailed SoFi for the whole cycle, right? We pretty much called every swing. Now the short area, it did squeeze a little bit out of here, but for the most part, you did see sellers enter, and then we broke down, and now where are we? Looks like we're correcting a bigger cycle. Yeah, so I have to relabel things. It's getting messy. Too many 1-2s. So yeah, it is due for some kind of relief rally. It's due some kind of relief rally. Let's see here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's look at a bigger picture. Let's see if we can label this a little bit better. One, two. Yeah. So that's another 1, 2. Yeah, it's very something like that maybe. And then it's correcting this whole thing. And then down. Maybe it could come back up to $8 if we're lucky. It looks like you're in some kind of wave too. But I don't like trading it. I think it's eventually heading lower. Thanks again for the super chat. Next one is Unity, DJT Ripster. Unity, let's take a look. Unity, looks like Unity is in a buy area, and we are due for a bounce and a failure. So it's, again, a bounce is imminent, and then there's a chance most likely the bounce will fail. But if the bounce is strong enough, we may have to relabel the corrective structure. But strong hands that believe in the company are buying it, and they don't care about the 4 and the 5. They're already buying it. They're waiting for the long. This is the area they accumulate for long-term investors if you believe the company won't go to zero, because it can always go to zeros, as we know. That's always a possibility when you correct the grand super cycle. Now DJT, the Trump stock one, like I said, was tempting to try to bottom take this here. Now we did break this low, so I think we now have an impulse off this low. See, I had this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I had the flat finished here, right? But now that we broke that low, 2 is gonna meander around a little bit. So we're in a connector wave of some kind here. Let's see what we've got going on RSI wise. Yeah, it's morphing into a complex correction. And then so I'm looking at it as something like that. But you have to do what's best for you. And then this will, something like this. All right. Next is Mark V again. I appreciate that. Some new ones from the ASEX. Yep, let's go into those. Let's see here. All right. WES. So you see how you broke that high after a big correction? That's usually very bullish. And you never took out this peak, so we have not seen the wave 3 yet. And then this is so this one's very bullish. It's about to see the power of wave 3 on the grand super cycle degree. But I think I think you're in a 4. You'll get a 5. You may even pull back again, and then you'll moon out of this. It's possible though the 5's already in. So actually, it's possible, but I don't think so. I think it's got one more high, a pullback, and then out. That's the most likely path. ALL. Looks like the same kind of chart. Looks like some kind of 1, 2. 1, 2. You know, 1, 1, 2. Wow, this one's super bullish because it's got all these overlapping waves. You probably have to put it, yeah, put it there. So yeah, I mean, it's probably about to go vertical. It doesn't get any more bullish than that. What do these guys do? It engages in the design and development and distribution of gaming content and platforms, electronic gaming machines, casino management systems. I guess they're doing pretty good. I guess their business is booming. All right, next is an update on LOV. Let's see. So we called the buy here and went vertical as expected. That's a classic wave 4 pattern. Right, it's classic. Wave 4s are usually these sideways tight consolidations. Wave 2s tend to be more your crash structures. So it's in like a wave 5. It's about to go wave 3 of 5. And then you'll get a pretty big pullback. But it should continue to grind higher, right? Because it's got a series of 3s and 4s. Like these 3s and 4s have to play out. So it'll pull back. So more than likely that easy money is over for a while, unless it can extend out. And there's a possibility because you haven't taken those peaks out. So there's actually a high likelihood that this isn't a 4 even, that it's another 1 2. So I think you gotta actually probably lean toward that it's another 1 2 and is going to do that and extend. Okay. I would be looking for this. So I'd be looking for some more vertical type price action. Also forgot to say TY for the smaller regular market updates that you do. Oh, sure, no problem, man. All right, Alex for 3 First Solar. I don't want to FOMO in First Solar, guys, because of the tan. It doesn't seem like it's bottom to me, but I can be wrong. And you know, maybe First Solar is going to trade outside of the tan. But we did on our channel call the buy, right? I did not take this buy here. I wouldn't be surprised that it fails and makes another swing lower. Now, I will take that buy if it happens, if we can make another swing lower. But the moment of truth is like we're on the eve of that situation happening, because either it's got to happen now or it won't. So that would drop us to 150, 129. Now that would be a very good opportunity to get back in on this, and that should sync us up with the tan, which I want to see lower in this C wave. Eventually maybe hitting the low $20 level as we're bouncing in wave 2. I'm looking for something like this in the tan. That's why I don't like to trade it, but I can be wrong. Do what's best for you. UPST. Let's take a look at that. How's that doing? So we're looking for this reversal. So we're still waiting for the B wave to end here. What the question is, has it already ended? It ends here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it ended here, yeah. So we're in the connector of C already, and it's just going to be really messy. But something like that. But that should be a bull trap. That'll be a bull trap whenever it ends. But it looks like you got some upside coming. Upside's coming, just like we expected. But it took it a while to kind of get going, turn around. ACLS. Let's take a look at that. Is it some Excelus? All right, looks like, you know, I don't know if that's real price action or not. So we'll just say we're going to chart it from the bull, you know, from the 0 point. Clearly, the grand super cycle probably ended right here, or the cycle, because we're not sure. So right there is your first wave, 2, 1, and then as you can see, these peaks never took it out. So actually there's a good chance it's going to continue higher. It will continue higher. Yeah, a good chance it will continue higher when this correction finishes. Now, typically, you want to come back to 40 set the wave 4 low, but it may be done already. As you can see, erase that divergence. So this is even though it looks like 5, right? But it isn't 5. So more than likely, that's it. And So this is either a connector wave and it will make another swing lower, or it's already bottomed and it's ready to go higher. Yeah, it looks like its first wave off this low is finished. And then it's pulling back to maybe 126 and then out. So we'll see if that happens. All right, thanks, Alex. Appreciate that. Ripster, AG, and crowd. Let's go to AG and crowd here. AG and crowds. Oh, first Majestic Silver. The silver miners very bullish. Okay, it hit our buy area perfectly, and now we're out. So more than likely that 2 is in, and we should be seeing some wave 3 price action soon. That's the idea. We really need that pivot to hold though at 565 to get that to hold. And then CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is I didn't look at it myself yet. Could be a couple things. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just do that. We'll put the 1 there then. Maybe we fill this gap. Still, so not much change. It just looks like it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're pulling back like that. Thanks for the super chat. TKT went. Some crypto coins. Not have seen that one before. I'll just do that one. So off the low, it looks like it's moving in 3 swings. So there's your third swing there, but let's take a look. Yeah, more than likely that's a bottom. So it should be making another swing higher, at least from here. So that's how I'd look at this. And this looks like 5 up. So maybe we go back down to 0.013 and then we come out. That's what I'd be looking for. Now, if this low breaks, I'd be out. There's not enough chart data to really properly do it. And then more MERL, USD. Merle chain. Again, these ones that don't have a lot of chart data, it's hard using my system to do it. But we can try. So it did hit the buy area right here. So this is the area where it should find support. Again, we'll have to assume it's in a 3-wave move of some kind. You just can't really go with the chart data. It looks like it's 5 down there from that peak. So to me, it looks like it's ready to reverse in a 3-wave move. And we should get a 3-wave bounce out. Something like that. That's what I'd be looking for. Okay, I ate the asset. Hey man, appreciate the super chat. You made my day. That's a huge super chat, and thanks again for engaging with me like that. But yeah, let's definitely take a really good look at BBAI for you for that, and thanks again. Let's see, BBAI. I have that in the. I think I have it in the AI basket. So BBAI has been a tough one because it's had a couple pumps here and there. So what we assumed is we got to be called from bullish off of this low because again we don't have a lot of chart history. And again I could try to label this some kind of flat and say that okay, so this is a 1-2. Let's just give it the benefit of the doubt that that's where we are. So if that's the case and we pumped off this low, we need to correct. Okay, so we have some kind of 3-wave correction. And we moved off this low. And now the question is this a connector wave or was this another 5-wave move? As long as we're above this pivot, the more bullish count is in play. And we did hold that low here. And we are breaking the cycle higher. And we saw in Soundhound, we saw that break. So I do like what I see here. No divergence Here I have a little bit, but again, there's not a lot of chart history. And the daily cycle clearly. So clearly this cycle's over. So I think you have to just continue to label it in the more bullish pattern until proven otherwise. And if that's the case, BBAI is about to have a lot of fireworks coming, right? I mean, that's what this is saying. As long as you're above this low right here, as long as you're above 118, I would expect higher prices and a new cycle higher, and the correction's over. That's what I would expect. And we'll see if we get some good follow through tomorrow. I know a lot of the small caps were moving today. Soundhound was another one. That's been a big mover. There were a lot of others that moved. Like my QSI moved pretty big today. So different stocks, but maybe this one will eventually get some love and get going again. Okay. EOSE. Sure, yeah, EOSE. I don't think I'm familiar with that one. Here. EOS Energy Enterprises. Let's go back. We have to see. Okay, so not a lot of chart history. A, B, again, looks like to me we have an impulse off the top, an impulse off the top as we broke that low here. So that's a bearish chart. That's a bearish trend that should continue to go down, but there'll be counter trend rallies, right? So it's definitely not a bullish chart. Now the question is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get one more low in 5? Or is the 5 already done here? So we have to look at the strength of the move off the low. And I think clearly we could see that this cycle's over on this pump. So we're correcting this first move off this low. So this should bounce for a while. I would expect it to come up to maybe this wave 4 area, but it can go higher. So I would just be looking for bullish, continuation higher as this plays out more, as this pump plays out more. Yeah, you see you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you had like all these 1, 2s here. You had like a 1, 2. You had like a 1, 2 here. And then you had even another 1, 2 here. That's probably your first 3, 4 as you get a little bit bearish divergence. So you still got a little more upside, but then a big correction, but more than likely that's a buyable dip for another big move higher at some point. But I do think you're going to have like a little bit of this choppy sideways to higher action, and then a much bigger correction later. Now, the other option, there's always another alternative here, is that this 5-wave move is finished and you get a 1, 2. It drops to 176, which would be more bullish actually. You get something like this, and then you come out like that. So it's always a possibility. But I think that's how I would label it. It looks like it's just topping out. It looks like it will want to reverse down to 182 here. But I would expect it to continue to grind higher, and then a bigger pullback of some kind, and then out. Thanks again for the super chat, man. You made my day. All right, Chris, AMC I wouldn't be too concerned if the AMC and GME aren't moving tick for tick with the Russell. I believe one, the market isn't not perfect. The other is there are people I think that control the market, that master the market, that manipulate it, and they time their manipulation with news drops. It's obvious. So whatever news or material will come out to make those stocks move today wasn't the day to do that. So they're being boxed in. If you notice, the price is being boxed in by the market makers or somebody who has enough firepower to box the price in. So, because they didn't want it to move, they prevented it to move. You have to think of that. Somebody, but why would they do that? Because they know the real move they want is going to be timed with some, coincidental, timely news that just happens to coincidentally emerge when they happen to have all their calls ready to go. And maybe today they were caught flat-footed. They weren't ready. So, but anyway, I'm just speculating. But as long as the Russell's going higher, I can't see it like unraveling. That's the key, right? The trade unraveling. So, I'll do the AMC real quick. You said AMC. Um, yeah, AMC. Well, how did it do today? I didn't really look at it. Yeah, flat. Let's see. So, this could be some kind of running flat happening here, but I bet it's a flat. Like, so it could be some kind of flat correction. Because you broke this high here, I wouldn't be too concerned. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I think it's going to do a flat. It's going to flat something like that. So I'll give you the worst case scenario for price if it does a flat. That would be at 478. I think that's where I had it before, and it truncated. So I don't know, but that's the worst case. It may not make it all the way down there, but it's in some kind of flat pattern that has to finish up. So yeah, it sucks waiting, but this is the way that goes. You got to wait. You got to wait till the technicals are ready to roll, and you're just gonna have to be patient. That's why I don't mess with those calls, man. Because unless you're in the inner circle of who drops these news releases and stuff and tweets, you're just you're just kind of throwing darts, and hopefully you get lucky because you just don't know. Um, but anyway, that's what I look for. AMC. All right, looks like I got to the end of my super chats. I've been on about a couple hours here, so I'm going to wrap it up. But I will go ahead and just scan through comments. I can't go into all the questions. Neo is in. It's again this one you got to be patient. It has not unraveled yet. It's um, it's even tested my patience. I want to dump that shit really bad. But I'm like, if I'm going to dump it, I know China is going to have that relief rally I showed earlier. And if I want to dump it, I'll dump it during that relief rally. And if it can't move after that, then I'm like, get rid of it. But I'm going to hold it. I'm like, oh, what the hell. Amcor is pulling back with the semiconductor, but I do think Amcor has got something interesting going on here. It it had, let me see here. Where did I have that chart? Amcor. I'm labeling this for now based on the RSI reset and the divergence between the peak. So I think we're going to correct a little bit, but I wouldn't get too worried. I don't call this a wave 3 here because the RSI peak, I think on the higher time frame, see these peaks have not taken this peak out. So it's still, the best is yet to come. So I only probably would like to buy more of it if it wants, because we haven't seen the real move yet. So it's just another 1-2 of some kind. I think worst case it drops down to here, but I don't think it's going to get down there. But it's like the semis. They're all correcting. Um, yeah, I'm just kind of going on here. Just again, I can't go through all these. Yeah, it's good that things are working out. We got a lot of things right on my channel, man. We have really, I mean, maybe 80 or 90% of what we have is worked out. It's really we've been on a roll. Um, yeah, I'll do crude oil because that's an important chart to think about. Crude oil is another one that we've really traded well on our channel for the last 12, 18 months, guys. We've really have done really well on this thing. But crude oil is in a very big situation here. I have this triangle, and I want to see a triangle breakdown. Now, if rates are going to really break down like I think they are, then maybe oil will too. Maybe it's like a deflationary thing. I don't know. So I'm looking here now. If we take out 84, this peak, the triangle's negated. Triangle's negated. And what does that mean? It means the X is going to extend, and we should see these higher areas. And and yeah, I'm not sure what that means for the market, but it's just is what it is. So I think you just gotta, again, like the dollar index, and it just maybe it's just testing people's patience if you're trying to short oil. But I don't particularly, I'm not short in oil. I was tempted to do that the other day, but I'm just gonna leave this alone. I just with the weak dollar, that's got to be helping the price of oil go up. So if it revert, maybe it could get back up here and it'll be like a nail biter and see if we reverse. We'll see. Okay, that oil's important one. I mean, Costco to me is like finishing up like a grand super cycle wave five, guys. I mean, that's what it seems like. Like it seems like Eli Lilly and like they're just in their blow off top phase. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. But I have to chart Costco a little bit deeper. Um, all right, I'm wrapping up, guys. Thanks again for all the super chats. Good luck trading. We'll see where we go with the market in the next couple of sessions. The big key is, are we going to get a lot of follow through on tech to get the crash correction, or are we going to get a bounce and failure? That's going to be key. And the other is this just another one too? And we still have even better upside comments. So a lot of questions, but I still think it's higher. So I would not want to leave positions I feel really strong about, like Tesla and those positions. But anyway, guys, see you guys later.